Hi everyone, it's Kate here from Evolve Holistic Healing. I moved into an awesome new house about 3 weeks ago. It's in a complete state of renovation. Check out those ceilings. Oh my God. And I have not had a chance to energetically cleanse the house yet. So I thought today would be the perfect opportunity to show you how to really thoroughly energetic cleanse your house or workspace or any space that you feel needs a bit of a pick-me-up, and to get rid of any old or stagnant energy. My preferred method for cleansing is smudging, which is basically burning of sacred herbs. There's lots of different herbs you can use for this, and they do vary from culture to culture as well. However, my favorite is white sage. It's just a personal preference. I just love the smell of it. But like just about everything else in life, you really do get what you pay for. You can buy smudge sticks, as they're called, in bundles. So this is quite a large bundle. This is about as big as they get. You can get much smaller ones, but a bundle like this in Australia costs about $21 retail, give or take. You'll see that there's lots of leaves in this. There's really not much stem. That's what you're looking for. If it's quite woody and stemmy, it's not going to burn very well, and it's not going to have that really beautiful white sage smell. The other option is you can buy it in loose leaf form, and it really comes down to personal preference. My personal preference is I purchase it either as a stick or loose, but even if I buy it as a stick, I pull it all apart, because I find if you burn it as a stick, it's good for ceremonies or rituals where you're outdoors and in a big space, and you can just light the whole smudge stick, and it gives a really powerful smoke and burn. But in your own home, you don't really need a bushfire level of smoke. You only really need just a little bit. So it makes the stick last a lot longer and go much further if you just pull the bundle apart or buy them loose leaf, and just break off a few leaves at a time, and just light those few leaves individually and put them in a fireproof bowl. So this bowl that I've got is a bowl made of fossil or phosphorus fossil. Or phosphorus fossil, if you've watched any of my previous crystal healing tutorials where I harp on about grounding, it's one of my favorite grounding stones. So I actually keep this under my healing table with a couple of little leaves, just burning up a little tendril of smoke under the table. So throughout the session, not only does it very gently and subtly infuse that beautiful smell through the space, but it's also anchoring and grounding my client, as well as energetically cleansing them from underneath as well. So for today, I'm going to show you how to smudge a house or a space of your choosing by burning a few little white sage herbs in a fireproof bowl. And before we get started, you'll just need to get ready the tools that you'll be using for this smudge exercise. So let's get your fireproof bowl. Abalone shell is another good option if you don't have a stone bowl. But look, if you don't have anything that is a dedicated smudge bowl, you can even just use a normal ceramic bowl or earthenware bowl, as long as you don't mind it getting a bit stained with scorch marks. You'll need a few leaves of your choice of herb. I'm going to use white sage, so just a few like this. We can just keep relighting them if they go out. And you'll also need either a feather, or you can get something fancy like a big smudge fan. For such a huge space as this house, which has 20-foot cathedral ceilings, I think I'm going to use the smudge fan today, because I like to be a little bit heavy-handed when I'm clearing out the energetic space. I'm not fluffing around with the duster cleaning shelves. I'm really moving the energy through and cleansing the space, getting rid of it out the window and inviting in really positive vibes. So the first space that I'm going to cleanse is the upper mezzanine level. We've been doing lots of renovations up here, and it's all feeling a little bit claustrophobic and messy at the moment, and I feel like it just needs to get a little bit of good vibes and spaciousness flowing throughout. So whilst I can't magic everything into completion, I can give it a good little cleanse. There we go. So that's about 4 leaves that I've lit. You can see there's quite a bit of smoke there already. So imagine lighting the tip of that giant bundle. It really gets the smoke going. I'm going to use my fan. And basically what I do is walk around the space with the smudge bowl and sweep through the space with my smudge fan. If you've only got a feather, that's fine. You can just use your feather to sweep through the space. But the idea is that we want to pay particular attention to those areas that tend to store dark and stagnant energy. So we're looking at places like corners, especially ceiling corners, little dark nooks and crannies. You really want to get in there and give it a good sweep through. And then what we do is we actually sweep the air towards the window. So I'm just going to open my window, which I forgot to do. You might hear a bit of rain pouring outside. And we're sweeping through the air and actually sweeping the smoke out towards the window. And as we're doing that, visualizing anything that's unwanted, any darkness, any dankness, any negative energy, anything that's been stored, you know, from an argument that you've had or a negative person that you've had in the house recently, visualizing all of that as you're sweeping through the air, sending it out the window. You can even recite affirmations as you're doing this. Like I said, I tend to be a little heavy-handed with this exercise. I get a bit overexcited and, you know, I don't, rather than this kind of gentle, ooh, out the window, be gone, I tend to be a bit rough, almost like I'm playing baseball. Out it goes. So I get a bit of a good workout as well while I'm doing this. What's really important as we're doing this is that we're visualizing and that we're performing this with intention. So as you're doing it, be really mindful of remaining present in the moment, focused on what you're doing, and just calming and stilling your mind so you can really zone in on any areas in your house or space that need a little bit of extra attention. Okay, so I'm in my master bedroom now. The bedroom is a really important place to be cleansed because in your bed is where you sleep and it's the place where you go to be rejuvenated. So you go to sleep and you want to wake up feeling fresh. You don't want to invite in any dark energy. You don't want the remnants of an argument that you had with your husband and wife to be lingering around your bedroom because it can give you nightmares, it can influence your sleep patterns, and the bedroom is a sacred space for love. Okay, so I've relit my white sage and I'm going to show you how to smudge the bed. Smudging is a really, really amazing way of cleansing secondhand furniture and just about anything energetically. So if you buy a new piece of furniture and you're not sure what kind of house it's come from, especially something like a bed or a couch that's had a lot of bodily contact with its previous owners and can really absorb a lot of energy, smudging it is an awesome thing to do. I smudge all of my new secondhand furniture and it really helps give it that new fresh start. So I'll show you how I smudge the bed, and you can do this with any piece of furniture that you want to energetically cleanse. My bed's a little bit low to the ground, so I can't actually get underneath it and sweep the feathers through underneath it. But what I am going to do is just place the bowl. I'll reduce the smoke to maybe just one little leaf. I don't want to invite a fire hazard. Just have a little bit of smoke. As you can tell, I'm a little bit out of breath. I work out and everything, but even a little smudge gets me out of breath. I'll place this under the bed and just let it infuse under the bed for a few minutes, and that will help cleanse the space underneath. And then, yeah, we'll move on to some other rooms in the house. Right, so I'm in the living room now. Basically, I've got enormous ceilings. So there's no way I'm going to be getting up and cleansing those corners, not without a scaffold anyway. So what I'm going to do, and what I have been doing since I moved into this house, is on a daily basis, I've just been lighting my bowl of white sage and just letting it sit. Just letting it sit and smoke, and the smoke just infuses the whole room. So it does take a little longer. I just keep relighting the herbs and let it, you know, I want it burning for about an hour because I want that smoke to get all the way up into the ceiling and all throughout this enormous living room. And so just leaving the windows open and setting the intention that all of the bad energy escapes out the open windows and the smoke just cleanses the space, and we invite in light and health and positivity and abundance to the rest of the space. And just to finish off, we're going to look at how I incorporate smudging into my healing space. Smudging is my preferred method for cleansing crystals. It's a safe option for crystals that are really porous and can't be immersed in water. I also just love the smell, and it has the double effect of, while I'm cleansing my crystals, it's also cleansing the healing space as well. So when time is an issue, that's a really good option of achieving those two things in a short amount of time. Another option is making a spritzer out of some beautiful essential oils such as frankincense or sandalwood. That's a really good option if using the smoke is not suitable in your space. Maybe you rent somewhere where you can't have any kind of incense or smoke on the premise, or maybe you or your clients are sensitive to smoke. You would be surprised how many people really don't like the smell of it, so always ask your clients first before you light up any smudge smoke or incense around them, just in case they're a little bit sensitive. What you do, you hold the smudge bowl and you just turn the crystal through the smoke. And as you do, what I like to visualize is as the smoke comes and curls around the crystal, I actually visualize that it's passing through the crystal and lifting out any darkness, any negativity, any previous trauma energy from being mined or dug out of the earth. And I just watch it float away with the smoke. I visualize that the smoke's just carrying all of that away. And a really good way of cleansing more than one crystal at a time, and this is what I did with my crystals, is I stored my crystals on a rack rather than a solid shelf. So I just held a smudge bowl and held it under the whole rack and watched the smoke come through all those little gaps in the bamboo, and it effectively cleansed dozens of crystals at one time. So that's a really good way, if you've only got 15 minutes between clients, of cleansing your crystals prior to the next session as well. And the final use I'm going to show you for smudging today is aura smudging. It's the equivalent of having a long hot bath, but for your energetic body rather than your physical body. So just light maybe one leaf of white sage, and all you do is just wave it around your body and sweep through with a feather. And as you do, you'll actually feel the lightness and spaciousness that's created around you. Lower back is a good one too. The lower back is actually where we store a lot of emotional trauma. You know the saying, carrying baggage or emotional luggage? Lower back pain can often be a result of, physically dragging those emotional bags and luggage through life. Around the solar plexus, sacral and base chakras is also a really good one, especially if you suffer from digestive issues or you have stored up emotional trauma or issues with self-confidence. And we want to be sweeping down. We want to be moving all of that energy down out of the base chakra. And finally, the soles of your feet. We often don't give our feet enough attention. And the soles of your feet are what connect you to the earth. And they deserve a little bit of an energetic cleanse as well. Just like you can get physical leeches attaching to your ankles and feet when you go hiking, you can also pick up energetic leeches as you trudge through life, picking up little bits of energetic debris as you go, and these can latch onto the feet and affect your foundational connection to the earth. So we want to give our feet a good cleanse as well. Any other part of your body that you feel needs it, feel free to do so, remembering always to sweep downwards though when it's the physical body, because we release all kinds of trauma and energetic waste out through the base chakra and out through the earth. Just like when we eliminate physical waste, it comes down through the body. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really hope you've learned some great tips that you can put into practice in your own home or healing space. If you'd love to connect or learn more about what I do, please visit my website, www.evolvehealing.net. If you'd love to take your learning experience to the next level, then you might like to consider doing one of my internationally accredited healing courses. I offer professional and personal interest courses, both online and as full immersion healing retreats on the Sunshine Coast, Queensland. Thanks again.